Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of JMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of the video is Global News Highlights, right? We're back again in the news, watching the tokens, the signs, the visions prophesied in the scripture, basically come to life here in the world now as the vision is speaking, right? And the vision is speaking towards the end, right? And the men of the Lord, the body, are set up, predominantly the men are set up to watch, and warn, the flock, the sheep. So that's what we do. We do it on a daily, right? We're in the news, bringing out prophecies in the Bible, right? And feeding basically the world. This is Jeremiah 1:1. It says, the words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, the priest that were in Ananoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, came in the days of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. It says, then the word of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord Yahweh said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. And that's exactly what the Lord has commanded us to do, right? The Lord Yahweh has ordained us a prophet unto the nations, right? To everybody. Jeremiah 28. Says Jeremiah 28:8, it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So that's all we're here to do, watching, and giving a warning to the world, of the things to come. That's why everyone is gonna know Yahweh, right? His name is magnified here in planet Earth through his mouthpiece, the prophets. Right? You have what is it, Luke 1:70 says basically to the point, it says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, has always spoke by the mouth of his prophets. The prophets are the one that could see the vision, understand the vision of the people. Right. And the same thing is the same now. Right. The scriptures say, he doesn't change. The same today, the same tomorrow, I change not. So the scriptures say about Yahweh, right? So his prophets are back, and they're still warning, right? Even the president of the United States of America on a podcast show with Joe Rogan spoke about the fact that there's prophets that speak towards the last days, and destruction in the Middle East, right? Yep. So it was on a YouTube show called Joe Rogan Experience, which we already knew this, but he said it. If anybody wants to go check that out, Joe Rogan Experience, what President Donald Trump, he spoke with the prophets also. So the world is listening, all right? And all we're doing is what? Measuring the time diligently in itself. All right, we're bringing out the news. This is Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before these, even from the beginning. It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Right. And these news articles in these last days speak towards the end. Global turmoil, upwards of people, nation against nation, right? People against people, mass death, all of it is speaking towards the end. So you have to know exactly what's happening around you. All right, there's no getting better or anything like that. So when DeepSeek, which is the artificial intelligence app, based from China, something similar to Chat GPT, right? So we're using the technology that the Most High has given to Esau to use it against Esau, right? Use it against our oppressors, use it against our enemies. Because the world does not like the prophets, the world does not like the Israelites. All right. So anyway, this is DeepSeek. We have 5 points. We just go into it quick. It says ceasefire holds. This is talking about the Iran and Israel ceasefire that Trump pushed and imposed, I would say, on both of them, more so Iran. It says the U.S. brokered truce between Israel and Iran remains fragile, with Israel striking Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, triggering a 2.5 magnitude earthquake, and Iran retaliating with missile attacks on the U.S. base in Qatar, no energy reported. Right, and that's after America dropped bunker buster bombs on Iran, because Israel needed the help so desperately. So they dragged America into this, right? Because basically, Israel is what helped the JOOs, the banking elites, the lobbyists, the deep state, behind the scenes, they are Jews, are JOOs, fake Jewish individuals, and they help Trump get into his position, because the people already love him, and they funded him, and gave him a lot of gifts, It says Gaza aid violence. An Israeli strike killed 18 Palestinians in central Gaza during an aid distribution. It says targeting a Hamas-linked security unit intercepting looters. Witnesses describe a horrific scene with torn bodies and blood-stained streets. All right, so Israel is continuing to doing the things they're doing, saying they're seeking Hamas, but somehow aid workers are getting killed, or aid, doing aid distribution. It's clear today that Israel does not want that aid going out, So, eventually nations are going to get tired of this, and they're going to shoot missiles towards America and Israel. Says human toll, over 600 killed in Iran and 20 in Israel during the 12-day conflict. The U.S. evacuated 250 citizens from Israel. Right, yeah, a lot of countries evacuated their people from Iran and Israel. They wasn't too sure how crazy it would get, especially with Trump planning to drop bunker buster bombs on Iran, and him calling his doomsday, plane, basically a doomsday plane that can withstand nuclear blast. All right. So we have point 2, Russia-Ukraine war and NATO response. It says Kyiv bombarded. Russia launched 472 drones and 7 ballistic missiles, killing 12 Ukrainian soldiers in its largest attack since the war began. Ukraine destroyed 40 Russian warplanes in retaliation. Yeah, Russia is bringing back bodies. I believe it's like 9,000 in total. He had bodies he could bring of dead, deceased Ukrainian soldiers that he wanted to give to Ukraine, or whatever's left of Ukraine, because those dead bodies were on the grounds of the lands that Russia basically took over because they're winning the war. So, says NATO spending push. Allies agreed to raise defense budgets to 5% of GDP. Though Spain negotiated an exemption, Trump left the summit early amid Middle East tensions. Right, so they're trying to increase defense spending because they're preparing for war. Okay. And we're measuring the times and we're seeing exactly what's happening. And there's even Trump arguing with his allies, talking about America protecting them and they're not, basically doing their part regarding paying Trump up. We have point 30. It says global political and diplomatic shifts. It says India and Pakistan tensions. Trump claimed credit for mediating a May ceasefire, but India's PM Modi denied U.S. involvement, citing direct military talks. Right. So the devils is being found out to be liars. Right. Scriptures say that the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Right. And the world is given into amber with, right? So Esau Edom is ruling, and that's what he would do. He'll lie, take credit for things that he did not. And just like a lot of these inventions out here, that he has taken credit for that the Israelites, built. Esau came with his patents, and bought it up. It says Norway, a royal scandal, the son of Crown Prince Matti Moret was charged with rape and sexual assault involving a double-digit number of victims. And I want to grab this too, real quick, to add this in point 4, but I want to bring out the scripture. Point 4 says, French syringe attack, 145 people were pricked with syringes at a music festival, 14 arrests made. And basically they were attacking the woman because, nowadays people is kind of, going all over the place, LGBTQ and all of that extra shit. But anyway, they attacked people and what was in those syringes. So they say may have been, some type of date or, I said the word already, but are a drug, to seduce individuals or get them numb or something like that. So that was going around at a party. So how much more when Jacob's trouble is coming, right? It says, Isaiah 32:9, rise up, ye women that are at ease. You gotta listen to enough. All right, this is Isaiah 32:9. Listen, you women who lie around in ease. Listen to me, you who are so smug. And pretty much, women, for the most part, had it easier. They had men to, buy them things and they could seduce men to get what the things they wanted and whatnot. But now we're entering a time where shit's crazy for everybody. Instead of, getting the few perks they got from men, they need a whole lot more because a lot of benefits are cut. A lot of jobs aren't hiring. We're at the time where it's the end. And once again, this is a warning. It says, listen, you women who lie around in ease, listen to me, you who are so smart. We got women moving back to their parents, and thinking, okay, well, I can just sit here for a while until, I make my situation better, but it's not going to get better, because the world is not getting better. Things are not getting better. Food prices is not going down. Gas is not going down, and the jobs, it's not getting easier. Trump is not making any new jobs or anything, so it's not getting easier. Isaiah 32:9, listen, you women who lie around in ease, listen to me, you who are so smug. In a short time, it's a little more than a year. You careless ones will suddenly begin to care. For your fruit crops will fail, and harvest will never take place. Yeah, the famine is coming. You think you can eat something, so you're good. Famine is coming. Destruction is coming. Perils is coming. Men with these syringes are going to be all over the streets. And women are going to be hiding. So a lot of these men, they're going to be more desperate than they already is. How desperate can you be to be at a party and you're sticking individuals with syringes? So much more when everyone's hiding and you finally, get caught because your ass was so hungry you had to go out, because you had no covering, no protection, right? No man, the Lord. You had to go out and find something and you get spotted. So again, Isaiah 30:29, listen, women who lie around in ease. Listen to me, you who are so smug. In a short time, just little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care, for your fruit crop will fail, and the harvest will never take place. Tremble, you women of ease. Throw off your complacency, strip off your pretty clothes, and put on a burlap to show your grief. And that's exactly what y'all want to do. You know, no more stores, no more shops, no more washing machines, nothing like that. Perfumes, all of that. You know, it says beat your breast in sorrow for your bountiful farms and your fruitful grapevines. For your land will be overgrown with thorns and bearers. Your joyful homes and happy towns will be gone. All right, so no more cities. The city ain't gonna be the place to be no more. It ain't gonna be Risco the Mall or anything like that. It said the palace in the city will be deserted and bushy towns will be empty. Busy towns will be empty. So it says wild donkeys will follow and flocks will graze and the empty forts and watchtowers. Yeah, the scriptures speak of animals shall leave their places, you know, and be out in the streets too. That's another thing. You got to eat, you can just walk around, you know, skimpy clothing, uh, you know, do what you do. You don't have to worry about, you know, desperate men and hungry animals. All right. Yeah, so, you know, that's pretty much the point. So anyway, says 9.4 Nigeria floods, death toll rose to 200 due to torrential rains. So that's the Most High Yahweh visiting with tempest and storm. You know, all these things will intensify. Says Mexico mass grave 34 bodies unearthed in Jalisco, a cartel stronghold. Yeah, you know, Esau is playing with something. You know, he's doing something because, uh, you know, the tribes been killing themselves, each other, you know, for a while. You know, this is nothing but gang violence, you know, for the most part, and anyone involved in the gang violence, you know, a lot of times. But now Esau is shining a light on this because of these icebergs trying to, you know, whatever they're trying to do, you know. But basically, this is the beginning of Jacob's trouble, you know. So the persecution had to come and work. So the light is starting to be shined on the tribes. It's starting with the northern kingdom first, you know, and then we'll make it with to Judah, you know. So point five says economic shifts. Um, not really much there. Let me see. Anyway, yeah. So you know that's pretty much it. That's just in the news, you know. So hey, stay on your watch and warn the sheep. This is Ezekiel 33:7. Uh, so thou, son of man, have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. So you know the warning is going out. You woman got a little piece in there today. You know you can't be warned enough. Uh, with that, you know, Shalom to those elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.